You're a naughty boy, you know. You've got to eat up all your grub root, or your whiskers won't cure. Oh, dear, dear. You know, you're a proper worry to me, you are. Hello, hello. What's the betting is Dr. Duncan or Dr. Stephen? They had to pay for it themselves. They wouldn't leave it on. Lights everywhere. Oh, dear. What are they going to do with me? What are they going to do? Can't even shut the door proper. They'll all get defroze. Can't have that. You'll all die, won't you?
Listen, Dad.
My name's Rupert.
All right, Rupert. Now, you have had a burglary.
Oh, get off. No burglary.
Look, we found a rope ladder over the wall, a window
Nothing
forced
missing. See for yourself.
Take another look round, will you?
Yes, sir. Right away.
Maybe they were disturbed. Now, did anything unusual happen in the night?
No, nothing. Did it, Rupert?
Rupert, that's your name.
It's the cat's name. He's Rupert. I'm Rupert. We're both Rupert.
Now, look, can we get back to this burglary? Oh!
Still a big trick for the old dad, aren't you?
Now, you're quite sure you didn't notice anything out of the ordinary?
Of course we're sure. Aren't we, Rupert?
What about the hard drugs, Sir George? Heroin, cocaine, and so on.
Only very small quantities, and they're kept in the safe, which you can see is untouched. Now, my two senior research chaps, Dr. Duncan Webb, Dr. Stephen Banning, Inspector Dunham. I telephoned them to come over right away. They'll soon know if any of our more esoteric specimens are missing. Well, it seems on the face of it our burglary is a false alarm. Nothing appears to have been stolen. Not, of course, that we have anything worth stealing.
Sir George, I do think I should tell the inspector about that odd phone call I had.
Yes, I think you should.
It was about 2 weeks ago. A chap phoned, said he was some sort of business consultant and had a proposition for me. Would I meet him?
And you did?
Well, yes, it was all most intriguing. He wouldn't give me his name or anything like that. All terribly hush-hush.
Stephen, why did you go?
Well, I don't know. I suppose he represented one of these big Yankee or Continental drug houses, wanted me to work for them at an enormous salary.
The brain drain, you mean, then?
Well, anyway, I went to meet him.
What was the proposition, then?
He wanted something from the laboratories.
Oh, what?
I don't know. I didn't get that far. Anyway, we've got nothing of any commercial value.
Did she offer you money?
Yes, that's just the point. Shook me rigid. £5,000.
5? And there's nothing really valuable?
Oh, we can't think of anything. None of us.
Well, for £5,000, somebody's going to have another go, yes?
Yes, just what I said to Sir George. And then I suggested that, as we knew each other.
And the ancient Rupert didn't notice anything?
Says not, but...
Blind as a bat.
Well, he's old and a bit slow.
Cussed is the word, and he hates the police.
And ever since they caught him for riding a bicycle without lights.
Ah, there you are, Rupert. You remember Mr. Temple?
Hello, Rupert.
Oh, of course. Come here with Dr. Stephen a couple of years ago.
That's right, research on a novel, if you remember.
Oh, I remember your face. Never forget a pretty face.
How's Rupert?
Oh, off his grub lately. Oh, naughty thing. Didn't daft scratch that stroppy inspector who was here asking daft questions.
Rupert, when you go on your rounds, where do you go? I mean, what do you do exactly?
Well, comes out of my room about 1 o'clock. Then I comes down to the hall, checks the front door, then I goes into number 1 lab.
This is what you did last night, isn't it?
Well, no, there was all them lights on in the cellar, wasn't there? Like Southend bloody pier.
In the cold store.
That's why we keep the virus cultures in suspension, if you remember.
Why didn't you tell the police?
Never asked, did they?
Well, Rupert, you said nothing unusual had happened.
Well, it didn't, did it? I mean, them lights are left on at least once a week regular.
Sir George, who has access to this cold store?
Each of us three has a key to it. Rupert, of course, has a master. If any of the lab technicians goes there, he's sent by Stephen or Duncan or myself, so we know about it.
Perhaps Rupert left them on himself when he went down there earlier.
Perhaps I did. Yes, I'm a mite forgetful sometimes. Yes, perhaps I did.
There you are, you see.
But what I never did was to open one of them fridge doors.
What?
The steel doors was open.
Oh, only an inch or two, like someone had been careless. Anyway, I shut 'em up pretty quick, or you'd have been in a right awful mess.
That's impossible. No one's been down there since Monday.
Calling your old dad a fibber they are, Rupert.
Well, surely you told the police that.
What then?
Rupert, suppose you show us.
Yeah. This one.
What's in there?
4 types of virus.
Oh, yes. Piconovirus, adenovirus, enterovirus, GB23.
Well, that's a new family of our own. Strictly speaking, it's not a virus. It belongs to the Mycoplasma family.
Hold it. You're losing me. What do these viruses do?
Cause the common cold.
Minus 76 degrees centigrade. Who needs a virus? You actually go in there?
Only for a moment or two.
I should hope so. Catch your death.
Well, what's this then?
That's our security fridge. We occasionally get the odd bug, which needs some pretty careful guarding.
Is there anything special in there now?
Duncan's pet bug.
I was doing some research on cholera and I came across a new variant.
Just about the most dangerous variant there is. It can be carried in the atmosphere.
Well, you mean it could spread like a plague?
Yes, but don't worry. The government are organizing a special lab to take care of it. Be off our hands in a couple of weeks.
Thank heavens.
Who has the combination of this?
Only Duncan, Stephen, and me.
I see. But this is the one you say was open, Rupert.
That's right, that's all.
Could we have a look, Sir George?
Yes, all right.
So he was after some of your viruses.
Pointless.
They're damn near valueless.
No, not to him, it seems.
There's the case I was telling you about.
And you moved it, sir?
Yes, of course. The contents of those fridges are my responsibility.
Inspector, what about this burglar? Did you know him?
Oh, yes. Very well known in the trade, as they say.
Percy Wilson, yeah, he's well known, all right. As a cat, he's one of the best. He does contract work mostly, you know, he does the break-in, lets the specialist in, and then he toddles off home. It's nice, steady work.
Not any longer. So this was an unusual job for him, was it?
Yeah, it's funny that. I always thought he was a more conservative type, you know. Still, maybe they offered him a lot of bread.
Like they offered Stephen. £5,000.
5,000? Yeah, that is money. Stephen, is that the fellow you're going to have dinner with?
That's right.
What's he like?
Oh, he's all right, all right. Acted as scientific advisor on one of my novels. Actually, that's his wife, Georgina.
I know, Riley. There's nothing much wrong with her, is there? Cool. A figure like an old man's dream. It's all genuine, is it? I mean, no scaffolding or flying buttresses or whatever they call them.
Absolutely genuine. In fact, she has a weight problem.
Won't be any problem to me.
Paul, have you seen my earrings, the pink ones?
No, darling. Now, about
What am I
Wilson.
going to do? I've looked everywhere for them.
Well, where's some others?
I can't.
Do you think
I
that
bought
Wilson...
this dress specially.
Do you think that Wilson
Paul,
might...
please.
Now, wait a minute. Have you looked on the mantelpiece in the living room? I believe I saw them there.
You lying con man, you got no idea where they are.
Well, that's not strictly accurate. There's always a possibility.
Darling, I've got them. You are clever.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Now, about Wilson. Do you think...
Police onto anything?
Well, I don't think they're too concerned about a burglar who accidentally got himself killed at work.
No, hard bastards.
Well, we can't all be soft and sentimental like you, Sammy. Think you could find out who Wilson was working for?
Oh, come on, he was a pretty careful fellow, you know. I mean, he didn't advertise.
Try, Sammy.
Might cost you.
That's all right. Do you know the one thing everybody's overlooked?
Surprise me.
This was an inside job made to look like an outside one. Now, you say that apart from Rupert, only you three have a key to that cellar. So who had another one cut and gave it to Wilson?
You can't be serious.
Oh, I can't, you know, if we're the only ones.
Well, no, not terribly serious. I mean, I presume you don't guard the keys all that carefully.
Well, no. Frequently, if we want something, we send one of the lab technicians down.
And you give him a key, do you?
Yeah.
Well, you could easily have an impression made.
So it was an inside job.
Yes, which means there might well be another attempt.
But why? I mean, what is the worth stealing?
Only thing worth stealing around here is you, Georgina.
It's not funny.
Not meant to be funny, meant to be true.
You're making the poor lamb jealous. Put me down. There. All better now? I must dance.
May I dance with her? Or will there be a drama?
Yeah, of course, sir. Enjoy yourself.
Well, tell me all about your lovely piconoviruses.
I think I'd rather have a drink.
I hope so.
What do you do?
I write.
I read. Show it us.
Do you believe in unisex, Mrs. Temple?
No, just sex. Are you leading or am I?
May I?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Taking me over now.
If the price is right,
Why don't you take over Petty Laboratories?
you make a tax loss.
Those Raycol shares you gave me dropped 2 5/8.
Well, they'll come back. But so Rookley Tools.
And who's that? Dancing with Georgina, that's Robert O'Keefe. Oh, the terror of the stock market. That takeover king. He owns the agency that she models for, gives her a lot of work.
Is he as tough as he looks, or is that just to frighten the bulls and the bears?
He's tough, yes. Like another drink.
Why not? Stephen, these viruses of yours, they just cause the common cold, are they? Nothing else?
Hey, nothing. I've been...
Are they highly infectious?
No, that's the trouble from a research point of view, purely that it's very difficult to induce a cold.
Really? I always find it very easy.
Ah, not to order. But recently I've isolated a new agent in the Mycoplasma group, the GB23, which is highly infectious. May well be one of the major causes of the common cold.
Could anybody make money out of this discovery?
Pharmaceutical firms,
Yeah.
it's unlikely. But it's common knowledge now. I've just published a paper.
I couldn't have a look at it, could I?
It's cool.
What's it called? How to Catch a Cold?
Either of you two Smith? Smith? Is he here? Is he about? Over there. Thanks. Are you Smith?
I am one of them.
Witty, too.
Who are you?
Sammy Carson.
You have the advantage of me, sir. The smell offends you.
Me? No, I love it. It's just my stomach can't take it, you know. You were in the nick with Percy Wilson.
Excuse me. I seem to have the wind. Wilson. Name strikes no chord.
Does this? Now hold it a minute, Smithy. No unseemly haste.
Wilson. Wilson. Not Percy Wilson.
Percy Wilson.
Why didn't you say? Doing the 5 stretch. All because of a badly secured rainwater pipe. Workmanship these days.
Did he always work alone?
Beg your pardon, sir. Mostly.
Mostly, but not always.
I believe he sometimes used what he called a chauffeur.
His name?
Oh, my memory.
Is getting stronger by the minute?
William Russ.
William Russ.
Name means nothing to you.
No. No, but it will. Here. Buy yourself some lavender water.
Echo 28. Coxsackie 21.
Darling, are you all right?
Yes, perfectly. Till I leaned forward and all those little glass balls rushed to the front. Oh, was it GB23?
What are you talking about?
Well, GB23 is a bacillus. It's not a virus. It's much more infectious than the others, according to Stephen.
But the mystery remains.
Yes. Well, at least the facts are clear. Somebody wants those germs badly enough to employ a professional burglar.
Who was given a key to the cellar?
By somebody on the inside. For money, presumably.
So who's in debt? Living above his income and with an expensive wife?
Or mistress.
Stephen.
What?
Well, look at the way they live. I mean, the house, the furniture, Georgina's clothes and
Oh,
jewelry.
now, just a minute, darling. She must earn a lot of money herself. She's a top model.
Top what?
Model.
You must be joking. Oh, well, I suppose she could model hats. She has quite a sweet face.
Oh, Steve, she's got a marvellous figure.
For what? Romping in the hay, possibly. But for clothes, darling, she's just a little too heavy.
Something showing.
What?
They look like tiny little claws.
I'm looking for Mr. Russ. He live around here?
Yes, he lives up there.
Okay.
Council flats.
Morning.
Well, what is it?
Billy Russ.
Who wants him?
I do, missus.
And who the hell are you?
Ah, come on, don't be so tough so early in the morning.
If you're from the ministry, you can shove off, because he ain't here.
I'm a friend of Wilson's.
Let him in.
What do you want?
9 kids in a council flat and a minivan, all on the national assistance. You certainly know how to work it, don't you, Billy boy?
What's it to you?
Well, nothing. It might be to the law. They're looking for a van like that one parked down outside.
Well, they'll have plenty to choose from, then.
I found it easy enough.
You're not the law.
Now, do I look like the law? Listen, where was you the night Wilson copped it?
In bed with the ever-loving. Well, who are you?
Sammy Carson.
Means nothing to me.
No, it wouldn't do. Different class of trade. Who was Wilson working for?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Shall I throw him out, Billy?
Oh, come on. You wouldn't hit a little fella like me, would you?
Keep the kids quiet. What do you want to know about Wilson for?
A friend of mine wants to know. And he'll pay.
Think I'll talk for that stuff?
Oh, come on, Billy. Wilson's dead. Can't do him any harm. All right. There. Look, 40, and that's the limit. And that's more than you got paid for waiting outside in that van. Okay, forget it.
He's a business consultant. Name's Roach.
Why should I answer your questions?
No reason at all, Mr. Roach. You could always tell the police why you employed a burglar to break into those laboratories.
I didn't know he was a burglar.
You thought he was a ballet dancer or a poet?
Now, look! Can you prove I employed Wilson?
I don't have to prove anything. All I have to do is talk to the police.
Next question.
Who employed you?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
You mean you won't?
No, I can't. Some man came in here with a wad of fivers, asked me to get something from the labs. And...
Oh, what? Excuse me.
Mycoplasma GB23. It's
It's all right. I know what it is. He also told you exactly where to find it, didn't he? Gave you a key to the front door and to the cellars, although he wanted it to look like a forced entry.
Well, the questions, Mr. Temple, you already know the answers.
This file, why is it marked Reno?
Because that's how he referred to himself, Mr. Reno.
How were you to get in touch with him?
I wasn't. He was to get in touch with me.
And did he? I mean, after it backfired.
Oh, he rang up, said, tough luck, we'll have to think of something else, and rang off.
And that's the last time you heard from him?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did he look like?
He looked like a man in a hat and dark glasses.
Thanks.
That's all. Well, Mr. Temple, if you ever get tired of writing novels and need a job...
I'll let you know.
Find out anything?
Only that a roach is a hard fish to catch.
All the more reason the Buck's clever. Mate of mine. Very clever with his brownie.
Good.
How's Georgina? Plenty of work?
Never stops.
What do you do with all the money you earn?
Well, it goes. And house, holidays, clothes, you know. Anything over, I put into equities.
Oh, you know how to play the stock market, do you?
No, but O'Keefe does, and he gives Georgina some pretty good tips. Well, he would be in a position to, wouldn't
Do you like him?
he? No, not especially. He's a bit too commercial for my taste. I think he'd rather go to bed with a balance sheet than a woman.
That was Paddy. Here's the first day's lot. Straight from the dark room.
Good. Well, well, well. Who have we here?
Duncan? Who'd have thought it? What are you going to do about it?
Nothing yet. What about this other chap?
I suppose that's Roach, is it?
Yes. I thought he might be the one who offered you £5,000.
No, nothing like him.
Another drink, Stephen?
No, I daren't. I shall be late for dinner. Put Sir George in the picture.
No, I wouldn't. The less people who know what's going on, the better.
You're the boss. Bye.
Bye,
I'll
Steve.
see you out.
He won't, you know.
Won't what?
Be late for dinner. Paddy told me his old woman only left O'Keefe's place about 40 minutes ago.
Did she?
Yeah. Had lunch together, went back to his Park Lane penthouse and stayed there till about 6:30.
What a long lunch hour. Talking of lunch, I wonder where my bird fancier's going to eat tomorrow.
Who?
Reggie.
Oh. Depends on the price-earnings ratio. I shall get fat if I eat all this bread. Let's see if we can't find a bird or two. Curious creatures, peacocks. Vain and incredible show-offs.
Like O'Keefe?
I didn't say that.
So you think it's a possibility, this takeover bid?
I find peacocks boring.
Oh. What makes a company vulnerable to takeovers?
Bad management, good prospects. Or good management, but a conservative dividend policy. Either could depress the share price.
And let in somebody like O'Keefe?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of man is he?
Manic depressive, like most tycoons. Burns himself out every 6 months or so, then has to spend 6 weeks in some sanatorium on a Swiss Alp, which he owns.
Or the sanatorium or the Alp?
Both, I believe. There's a little pond over there. We might see a Muscovy duck. Red caracals on the face.
Probably a spy.
Oh, what a shame. Not a feather in sight. He's a bit potty, of course, but aren't they all?
All who?
Financial wizards.
Oh.
What a shame. Only goldfish. I once saw a squacko heron fishing in the shallows. Beautiful sight. Nobody caught.
A small roach.
I say, old boy. Didn't know you knew about birds.
I'm a big boy now, Reggie. Well, who's next on the menu for O'Keefe?
Ryden Plastics. Yes, no secret. I've made a bid on their estimated profits.
Thank you. Yes, you've offered 4 shillings over the middle price.
Provisionally, eh? But if you're thinking of buying...
No, I'm not.
Then what's the mystery, Temple? Please.
Thank you. Oh, there's no mystery at all, Mr. O'Keefe. Or, should I say Reno?
What?
Reno. R-E-N-O.
Yes. Tell him to wait. What are you talking about?
This. Henry Irving Roach, in animated conversation with Robert Ernest Norman O'Keefe, whose initials make Reno.
So what?
Well, Reno is the code name for one of Roach's clients, you see.
What the hell would I want a code name for?
For employing an industrial spy like Roach to employ a burglar like Wilson to break into petty laboratories and steal enough mycoplasma to give all the workers at Ryden Plastics a very bad cold.
Oh, that's marvelous. Yeah, what is it, a plot for one of your novels?
No, not yet. There are too many loose ends.
And why, pray, would I want to give the Ryden workers a code?
Well, if Rydens were to go out of business, I mean, even for a fortnight, they'd lose several major contracts, which would lower their profits, which in turn would lower your offer price by quite a bit.
You're not serious.
Why not?
You realize the risk. If I were found out, I'd be finished.
Well, £200,000 is worth a bit of a risk. That's what you'd be gambling for.
I'm on my third million, I think. Do you really imagine I'd risk everything for a lousy 200,000?
Please don't make it sound so small. It worries me. Anyway, if you really think the money's so lousy, why do you keep chasing it?
Oh, it's like sex. It's a habit. I can't kick it. Every morning, 7:45, my manservant brings me a cup of coffee and the financial papers. And I reach out for them like a smoker reaches for his first cigarette before he's properly awake. I skim through the share prices. I look at the pound. I look at the dollar. I ring Zurich. I ring Basel. I ring New York. It's a game, can you see that? Like Monopoly. Money isn't real anymore, but I can't stop playing it any more than I can stop breathing.
And employing an industrial spy is all part of this game, is it?
Ah, that's what we call aggressive market research.
How very euphemistic. So how do you explain the file in Roach's office marked Reno?
Well, ask Reno, whoever he is. But I'll tell you this much. There's another file there marked O'Keefe.
Then it's not all a figment of my novelist's imagination, is it?
Certainly, I employed Roach to get all the information he could about Rydens. Now I know more about their balance sheet than they know themselves. I even know that their deputy director, would you believe it, has a black mistress.
And you have a white one.
What the hell's that got to do with you?
Don't like being played at your own game, do you? Ah, remember your blood pressure. And don't.
Reno? O'Keefe. Confidential.
Of course, the existence of two separate files doesn't prove they're two different people.
But they are. I've seen them.
You described Mr. Reno as a man in dark glasses.
That's right. Impossible to recognize.
I'd recognize anybody in dark glasses.
Perhaps you have sharper eyes than I, Mr. Temple. Look, Mr. Reno's a stranger. I don't know him.
All right. What about Duncan Webb?
Duncan Webb's a client, and a client's business is confidential, and you can go to hell.
First of all, we'll call the police and report your business with the late Mr. Wilson. May I,
You should have done that right away. You're going to look a bit funny doing it now.
Not as funny as you, Mr. Roach.
What do you want to know?
Why did Webb come to you?
He wanted a better job. In America, preferably. He didn't really mind where, as long as the money was right.
Did you find him one?
I did.
Well, may I see his file?
You may not. You can take my word for it instead.
Or I can go to hell. Well, I'll take your word for it. For the moment.
Well, good for Duncan. No harm in wanting to better yourself.
Mm-hmm. Unless Roach was lying, or O'Keefe was lying, or they were both lying.
Motives?
Oh, well, that's where I still come unstuck, because only O'Keefe has the obvious motive, is it?
Yes, but surely he wouldn't do that sort of thing just for the money?
No, no. He's, playing for the sake of the game. He's obsessed with winning. And like anybody with an obsession, reason goes out the window. And he did employ Roach.
Who employed Wilson?
And Wilson had a key, remember?
Yes, but where did he get it? Who gave it to him?
O'Keefe?
How did O'Keefe get it?
I've no idea. Although, of course, he does spend quite a lot of time at your place, doesn't he?
Yes, of course. And I certainly leave keys lying... Georgina, that's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Well, that's what I was trying not to say.
It doesn't matter. She's his mistress, has been for 2 years. I suppose you knew, I suppose everyone knows.
Where is she now?
In Paris. Should be on her way back by now.
She go there alone?
I don't ask anymore.
You still love her, Stephen?
Pathetically obvious.
Yes, yes. You even named your new mycoplasma agent GB23.
Yes, her initials and her age. Yes. Well, at first I made her send the expensive presents back, so he gave her large blocks of shares instead, and then he started to employ her as a model at inflated prices. Well, either I accepted the situation or our marriage broke up, so...
It's very philosophical.
Yes, I have to be. She's everything to me. I can't live without her. O'Keefe, I suppose, is the other half of me. It's a compromise. But she's happy.
And you?
She's still with me. That's what matters.
Thought we were going to wait for Stephen to split this one.
Then you thought wrong, my love.
You're stoned.
I am not. Cheers.
Cheers. What are we celebrating?
Just celebrating. You're lovely.
I know. Cheers.
Cheers. Those big blue eyes. What's O'Keefe got that I haven't? Apart from money, eh?
Now look what you made me do.
I'm sorry, Georgina. I really am.
That's all right.
Is it money? Is that it? Is that what O'Keefe gives you? I can give you money, Georgina. I'll have lots of money soon.
You?
Why not?
You're a little man, Duncan. Like Stephen.
Oh, no. No, not me. I'm not like Stephen. I'm moving out. Moving on into the big money. I'm not a fool, Georgina. Stephen is, though. For letting you slip through his fingers.
Nasty, aren't they, coppers? Useless lot. Too slow to catch a cold. Too slow to catch a cold. That burglar caught one, though, didn't he? Hey, Rube. Hello. That's funny. No one comes here as late as this. It's him, Rube. It's him again. We'll have him this time, though. We'll have him. of a puzzler, eh? Isn't it, Ruth? Then I comes to, and then I phoned Sir George.
It's a nasty bump you got there.
Are you feeling better?
A few more of them and I will be.
And you didn't recognize him?
No, I couldn't. He had this mask thing over his head like he was an African or something. Make it a big one, will you?
Anything missing?
Yes.
What?
Duncan's new strain of cholera.
God, that could kill thousands.
Is there a vaccine? Antidote, or whatever you call it?
We could manufacture some, but it'd take time. A lot of time.
May I?
Excuse me. Thank you, Webster. If we don't get that file back soon, I suppose this is what they were after the first time.
Maybe.
Yes, I suppose it was. I mean, that chap that you found, what was his name? Roach.
Yeah.
Mightn't he have had something to do with it this time?
To do with what? Why all the flap, anyway? We're up to our knees in policemen.
It's happened again, and they've got away with it this time.
Got away with what?
Your cholera bug. Excuse me.
Well, this is going to cause one hell of an official stink. When did it happen?
Oh, early this morning. Rupert caught the man at it. He got away, unfortunately, but not before Rupert's cat had a go at him.
Oh, now look, how about this? I can explain. Well, it is a little difficult.
Oh, really? Why?
Will Stephen have to know?
About what?
It was Georgina. Well, I always fancied her, and she hit me. It's as simple as that.
Obviously, Stephen wasn't there.
Well, if you don't believe me, check with Georgina. I'm sure she won't deny it.
Mind your own business. My love life is none of your concern.
No. But O'Keefe is, you see, and you appear to know him better than any of us. Are you leaving, Stephen?
That's got nothing to do
I'm
with
not
you or
prying
anyone.
into your love life for nothing. This is important. People's lives may be at stake.
What are you talking about?
You've heard there's been another break-in at the laboratories?
Yes.
Well, some cholera germs are missing. Now, it's a new strain. It's highly infectious, and in the wrong hands, it could kill thousands.
Well, what's that got to do with O'Keefe?
I'm not sure yet. But it is important I know about you and Stephen. Are you leaving him?
Well, it's been discussed.
With Stephen?
Yes.
And?
Well, you know Stephen. He's weak, ineffectual. He doesn't believe it. Or rather, he refuses to face it.
Well, when did you discuss it with him?
2 or 3 months ago, I can't remember
Have
exactly.
you discussed it since?
I couldn't face it. He cried when we... I mean, he cried. I couldn't go through that again. I felt such a bitch.
So are you going to stay with him?
If I'm honest about it, I suppose the answer's yes. I'm not really as hard as I seem.
Georgina, I think it might solve a lot of problems all round if you were to tell Stephen that.
Maybe I'll think about it.
I mean now. Tell him now.
Where is he?
He's at the labs, I think.
He left about half an hour ago.
Do you have any idea where he went?
Yes, he ran Duncan up to London. They were going to the ministry to talk about preparations for manufacturing an emergency vaccine in case this thing should get loose.
Would you mind checking, Sir George, and see if he's arrived?
Yes, of course.
Inspector.
Look, can't it wait? I've got a
I
lot of work
know
to
you
do.
don't like dedicated amateurs like
Mr.
me.
Temple, with all due respect, your investigations are a little too speculative for me. I prefer the firm ground of hard facts.
Yes, but unless you want a cholera epidemic on your hands, I think you and I had better join forces.
So who's your friend? I see.
The inspector likes facts.
Yes, all inspectors do.
So, suppose you tell us what the setup was.
Quite simple as far as I'm concerned. I'm just a postman.
Don't try to be clever. Facts.
That is a fact, Inspector. For the record. Wilson was supposed to deliver a package to me, which I was to pass on, that's all.
And you employed Wilson?
That's not a fact, Inspector. That's conjecture.
Look, we haven't time to play games, Mr. Roach. That was the arrangement the first time Petty Laboratories were broken into. What about the second time?
The second?
There was a successful attempt last night.
Really?
Mr. Roach, the prisons are full of people who thought they were cleverer than the police.
Yes, there was a package. Excuse me? Henry Roach.
Hello? Yes? I see. Right. Sir George, he's checked with the ministry. Dr. Webb's arrived there.
And Stephen Banning?
He dropped Webb off, then left.
Well, to go where?
No idea.
I see.
You were saying?
There was a package delivered here this morning. I had a phone call first thing.
From Mr. Reno?
Yes, the same procedure we'd arranged for the first attempt.
Which was?
I was to send the package by special messenger to 130 Regent Circus.
That's O'Keefe Enterprises.
Mr. O'Keefe, I'm afraid you've just missed him. What's it all about?
So he's been in?
Early, yes. We get through a lot of paperwork on a Saturday.
A special package was delivered here this morning.
Package? Oh, you mean the parcel?
What happened to it?
Well, it was odd.
Odd?
Well, no, it was, it was just so silly. It was that metal box with the test tubes inside it.
Was there anything in the test tubes?
No, they were empty.
How do you know?
Well, Mr. O'Keefe showed me. He called me in here and he showed it to me.
So you didn't actually see him open it?
Well, no, not exactly.
Yes or no?
No.
Where is he now?
Mr. O'Keefe? No idea. Is it important?
Where is he?
Well, his car has a radio telephone. I suppose I could call up the chauffeur.
You do that?
Yes.
This theory of yours.
Speculation.
You really think O'Keefe intends to use that cholera bug?
Well, I think Mr. Reno does. He's been behind this all along.
But isn't O'Keefe the mysterious Mr. Reno?
That's what the facts say.
Oh, never mind the facts. What do you think?
I think that love is raising its ugly head.
I found the address. Here we are.
My money's on the facts.
O'Keefe! O'Keefe!
I had a feeling you might turn up. Looking for this?
Why were you so sure we'd be here?
That was the way it was meant to be.
We did follow a very carefully laid trail.
Leading you right up the garden path.
Not quite. You're not alone, are you?
No.
I had a call from him to be here at 1. I realized what the setup was, so I came a bit early. Saw him arrive, followed him, and we had a little talk. I wouldn't have thought he'd have had the guts to try something like this.
It was a clever frame. You know, if you hadn't caught him here, you'd have had quite a job talking yourself out of the evidence he set up.
Maybe.
Did you touch that stuff?
Why? It's only that cold bug of his, isn't it?
No. That's cholera bacilli. Lethal.
Put it in here, will you? Carefully. Now, I think you and Banning had better come with me to the hospital, just in case. Sergeant?
All right. Stephen? Thousands of lives for the sake of one woman? You must be mad.
Damn your sanity. What do you know of madness?
Enough to know you did it.